the third game of last night, of course, the 76ers traveled up to Toronto, and they absolutely put a beat down on the Raptors team. They looked like the team in the East that is capable of doing that with Joel Embiid and Maxey and everybody playing at the top of their game. How did they overcome? Because I think a lot of people were pulling on the cape of Doc Rivers thinking, is he going to do it again? Is he going to do it again? And this team came up and played their tails off to get them to the next round.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, I think everybody was waiting for the Sixers to fold, right? Whether it's Doc Rivers or James Harden or Joel Embiid. I mean, a lot of questions, people kind of waiting for them to choke. I was actually joking and calling Toronto America's team because it felt like everybody was rooting for them to knock Philly off, even though they're the only Canadian team in the league, right? But, when you step back from all the narratives, who's going to choke and all this, Philly had the better star talent. Toronto kind of came into this series exhausted and banged up. They had played their main guys a lot of minutes during the regular season, and they were just a little bit tired. And you see Fred VanVleet, really limited impact as that series unfolded. By contrast, you've got the best player in this series in Joel Embiid, who really was able to kind of fight through the thumb injury that was bothering him these last couple of games and just emerge above everybody else as the predominant physical player in that series. And then also James Harden had an extra day of rest prior to that Game 6 and looked like he was, back to a throwback version of himself from a couple of years ago, setting up his teammates with great passes, scoring the basketball a little bit, and just really able to keep everybody involved. They need that version of Harden if they're going to beat the Miami Heat in the second round. I think the Heat are going to be favored in that series. The Heat are much deeper. They've got more playoff experience. A number of their players have been to the finals in past years, whether that's Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry. I mean, they've been some places that Joel Embiid hasn't been. But there are some favorable matchups for Philadelphia. Embiid is much bigger than Bam Adebayo inside. And then James Harden and Tyrese Maxey. I mean, someone's going to be able to get the pick on Tyler Hero, who's kind of a defensive weak link. So Philly's going to have a shot. I'm picking Miami, but I think it's going to be one of those series that's really hard-fought and tense. I expect some flagrant fouls, probably some trash talk in the media. It should be like good old-fashioned 1990s basketball.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.